Hey, what's up, guys? This is David Chase Taylor of 911truther.org. Today is May 23rd of 2025. So, based on breaking news and events, it appears that CIA headquarters located beneath CERN at Lake Geneva in Switzerland is going to stage an escalating series of apocalyptic natural disasters, terror attacks, and/or wars this weekend, this holiday weekend of a Memorial Day weekend. So basically, anytime between Friday, March 3rd, anytime between Friday, May 23rd through Monday, May 26th of 2025, the CIA is expected to stage earth-changing, apocalyptic watershed moments in time. So in this video, I'm basically going to highlight firstly the plots that I have identified, and then usually in the aftermath of publishing reports about a certain plot, the CIA tweaks it and changes the location. So it'll give us an idea of what they're planning to do. But basically, the long story short is that by May 26th of 2025, U.S. President Donald J. Trump will be dead. J.D. Vance will be sworn in as the 48th President of the United States by the date of May 26th. World War III will start in the United States or elsewhere by the date of May 26th. A second global biological pandemic will envelop the Earth at some point prior to the date of May 26th. And the CIA is going to stage some sort of CBRN, that's chemical, biological, radiological, or nuclear related event somewhere in the world, most likely in the United States, Israel, or Europe, but somewhere in the world prior to the date of May 26th of 2025. So in short, the CIA is getting ready to basically trigger all out World War III, most likely in the aftermath of a false flag terrorist related attack, or they're going to stage some sort of attack or invasion or storming attack to basically an act of war to trigger World War III and or a second global biological pandemic this weekend. So for those of you that have followed my blog for a while, you know that Memorial Day weekend is always Memorial Day and Labor Day weekend are key weekends. They kind of bookend the summer, and they are key because they, historically speaking, I have identified numerous terror attack plots, assassination plots, and war plots on this particular weekend. Because everybody's leaving, getting ready for summer, so it's really the last chance before everybody takes off for summer that they can kind of change the narrative. And the narrative right now is war and pandemics. This is the two angles that the CIA has been working ad nauseum, and they're about ready to strike. And I'm going to tell you what I have identified, and then obviously highlight the most likely scenarios with the hope of preventing these tragedies from happening. So firstly, I'm just going to go through these really quick. You can check out all these latest reports out on my blog, 911truther.org. But basically, a lone wolf, nutty professor bombing designed to start a second global biological pandemic. Like I said, a Trump assassination event. This is going to be a Iran-backed Palestinian sympathizer targeting Trump at Trump National Golf Club in New Bedminster, New Jersey. This is slated for tomorrow, May 24th of 2025. Trump is going to be all weekend like a sitting duck at Trump National Golf Course, and so the CIA is going to strike him there or ambush him when he leaves, or they're going to take down his helicopter or plane while attempting to get back to the White House on the evening of the 25th or the 26th. His travel plans have not yet been released. At some point during this weekend, the CIA is going to stage an earth-changing, apocalyptic asteroid attack. The two latest locations that I've identified for this is Ohio, the Ohio River Valley, as well as North Carolina and South Carolina. The CIA is going to stage some sort of a MAGA attack. So this is going to be an attack. It could be Russian-backed or neo-Nazi or Proud Boys, but it's going to be an attack that they're going to try to link to Donald J. Trump to arrest him. And I have identified a militia-based truck bombing attack targeting the Milwaukee County Courthouse. If you recall, this judge was just arrested for harboring ICE. Harboring fugitives from ICE, and so they're planning on staging a Oklahoma City-like bombing. And coincidentally, Oklahoma City Thunder are playing in the NBA playoffs, and of course, the name Thunder was chosen because the CIA is planning on staging a second Oklahoma City bombing, except this time it's going to be a biological, chemical, or weaponized contagion in nature, and this is designed to start a second global biological pandemic. Coincidentally, this is the first time that I've been aware of this, is that the CIA is staging 2 Fleet Weeks. So Fleet Week is a U.S. Navy event. One Fleet Week is going on in New York City and New York Harbor and Port of New York and Port of New Jersey. And then there's a Fleet Week going on in Los Angeles, so they're going to stage a dual Chinese related bombing or torpedo attack targeting ships there, or some sort of drone attack, but some sort of Chinese offensive targeting Fleet Week to trigger World War III. This is going to be like a Pearl Harbor-like event. They're also planning on staging a Chinese attack and invasion of Peru. For those of you that are unaware, the CIA has ordered China to build this huge port. It's called the Port of Chancay. It's just north of Lima, Peru. And so this port was built to basically bring in Chinese troops, and then they're going to make their way up South America towards the United States, kind of going on a scorched earth policy. And this is designed to trigger World War III. This would obviously be would be executed under the guise of a revenge attack in aftermath of Donald J. Trump taking away the Panama Canal from China. I've also identified 2 Iranian terror plots. This would be obviously executed by the Israeli Mossad, targeting the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland and the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. I've also identified 3 Russian attack plots for this weekend. One is a Russian-backed attack or Russian attack targeting Airbus headquarters in France and the Netherlands. Designed to trigger World War III. This would be obviously executed by Ukrainian troops, most likely from the Azov battalion, or the Azov brigade, the neo-Nazi brigade from Ukraine, and then this would be scapegoated onto Russia to trigger World War III. Also, a Russia-backed Islamic terror attack or Chechen terror attack targeting The Hague. And their criminal court, the ICC, which previously issued an arrest warrant for Vladimir Putin under the guise of abducting children from Ukraine, and this was designed to provide a timely motive for a revenge attack. And then a Russian-backed Islamic or Chechen-related attack targeting NATO headquarters, who is responsible for the missile strike on the Black Sea headquarters in Sevastopol, Crimea, Ukraine, back on September 22nd of 2023, I believe. Okay, those are the ones that are blinking red, and then I'm just going to go briefly over the top 10. This is a script that I highlight on weekends like this, holiday weekends. And so, number 1, asteroid or comet strike, we went over that. Assassination of Donald J. Trump, we went over that. Global pandemic, obviously, that's what's planned, so this may come in the form of a bio attack or a weaponized contagion attack. There's always the possibility that Israel is going to strike Iran or vice versa. What I forgot to mention in my notes was that I have identified an Israeli joint, possibly joint, but Israeli for sure, possibly U.S., tanker ship-based bombing attack targeting Iranian ports and Iranian oil-related infrastructure in in the Persian Gulf, the Gulf of Oman, and the Strait of Hormuz. Also the Caspian Sea, possibly, but most likely the first three. If you recall, there was a massive port explosion in Iran a few weeks ago, and this was designed to create an emergency scenario at that port so that they could put in a larger bomb and blow up the whole port. And so this would be executed under the guise of either preventing a weapon of mass destruction related attack or crippling Iran's energy sector so that they cannot fund terrorism in the Middle East. So obviously, that cannot be allowed to happen. So in the aftermath of this report, the CIA may in fact stage some sort of other preemptive Israeli attack on Iran or vice versa, an Iranian attack on Israel, obviously to trigger World War III. There's also the possibility that the CIA will activate the ongoing Pakistan versus India feud, and this is designed to trigger a nuclear exchange between the two nations who have numerous missiles pointed at each other. As always, there's also always the possibility of a 9/11 style attack, especially in Los Angeles and New York City, where Fleet Week is going, and there's going to be thousands of tourists with cameras to catch it all, and on a live stream possibly. And then, of course, a radiological event. This could be a dirty bomb or some sort of cyber attack or power outage that results in a nuclear meltdown. And then, of course, World War III. That's the end goal. At the end of the day, the end game is of a global pandemic or World War III. If the CIA does in fact stage some sort of a full-scale invasion, it would be a Chinese attack or invasion of Taiwan, the Falkland Islands, or Argentina, an Iranian attack or invasion of Israel, the United States, a North Korean attack or invasion of South Korea or Japan, or the Philippines, a Pakistani attack or invasion of India or Kashmir, as I previously mentioned, or a Russian attack or invasion of Canada, Europe, Ukraine, or the United States. In closing, the CIA is just executed on May 21st. They executed 2 Israelis allegedly outside of the Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C. Whether these 2 people existed in reality is not known. Whether they are living comfortably in Israel right now is obviously not known. There's a term in Latin which escapes my mind at this point, but it basically says, I believe it says the body. So if you're going to claim that somebody's dead, you have to see the body. And given the Zionist control over the media and their constant attacking of themselves, which is called the Hannibal Protocol, we don't know what happened. But the reason they staged it is because they're going to kill celebrities. So they're trying to start a Gaza-like war in the United States to balkanize the United States, and they plan on killing a celebrity. This weekend, Caitlin Clark, Taylor Swift, and Donald J. Trump are on the altar of Zionism, so to speak, because they plan on murdering a high-profile American to basically be the poster boy or the poster girl of this war. And so they plan to blame Palestine, just like they did with the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy in Los Angeles, where they blamed it on Sirhan, a Palestinian. And so they're basically trying to do the same thing. They've created a number of Palestinian terror groups in the United States, working out of Columbia University and NYU, and so they plan to frame them for these attacks. Other celebrities which may be sacrificed this holiday weekend include, but not limited to, as I mentioned, Donald J. Trump, Vladimir V. Putin, Ali Khamenei, King Charles of England, Pope Leo XIV, Elon Musk, Robert F. Kennedy, the Dalai Lama, Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, Prince Harry, Taylor Swift, Kim Kardashian, etc., etc., etc. But some sort of high-profile A-list celebrity assassination is expected. Tom Brady, Dwayne Johnson, Aaron Rodgers, Dana White, Conor McGregor, Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson, Patrick Mahomes are other possibilities. Anyways, so those are what's going on. So some sort of apocalyptic natural disaster, some sort of CBRN-related attack, or a second global biological pandemic, and or World War III, and or a celebrity blood sacrifice is expected. So declaration of war, blood sacrifices, biological pandemics, nuclear war, terrorism. It's all on the table this weekend. And so obviously exactly when this is going to transpire is not known, but generally speaking, the CIA uses the live broadcasts of sporting events to transmit their terror. So this is likely going to happen on Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN on Sunday evening of the 25th, or on the evening of the May 23rd, May 24th, May 25th, or May 26th during an NBA basketball live playoff game. So right now the New York Knicks are playing the Indiana Pacers, and then the Minnesota Timberwolves are playing the Oklahoma City Thunder. So it's going to happen during a live broadcast of an NBA game, or Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, or the UFC fight this weekend. So they're going to use a live broadcast to transmit their terror around the world. So obviously, if in fact the CIA does stage any of the aforementioned events, which I've detailed in this video, I kindly ask that you download this video and share it with local, state, and federal law enforcement, military, and intelligence officials, as well as with local, national, and international media outlets. Praying for a peaceful weekend. Peace.